I invited my friends to celebrate a big win. They turned it into a public humiliation. I didn't even realize the night had gone wrong until I noticed no one was listening when I spoke. That should have been my first clue. This wasn't supposed to be some emotional thing. I wasn't asking for attention. I wasn't even throwing a party. I just wanted to celebrate something important, something I'd worked years for, with the people I thought were my friends. Instead, I walked out feeling like the biggest joke in the room. And the worst part is, I still don't know if they did it on purpose, or if they just never cared about me at all. I'm a guy. I don't usually overthink stuff like this. I don't cry over social situations. I don't need constant validation. But this messed with my head in a way I wasn't prepared for. Here's what happened. A few months ago, I landed a huge opportunity. The kind of thing that changes your trajectory. It wasn't fame, but it was big. A promotion, a contract. Something I'd been grinding toward while everyone else treated it like a joke. I kept my head down. I worked. I sacrificed weekends, sleep, relationships. When it finally came through, I felt proud. Not cocky, not flashy, just proud. So I decided to invite my close friend group out to celebrate. Nothing fancy, just drinks at a rooftop bar downtown. Casual, chill. A first round's on me kind of night. I made a group chat and sent the invite. The replies were dry. A few thumbs up emojis. One, I'll try. Someone asked who else was going. No one said congratulations. I brushed it off. Guys aren't always expressive, whatever. I showed up early anyway. I dressed nicely, not overdressed, just clean. Good jacket, good shoes. The kind of outfit that says, I care, but I'm not trying to flex. I felt confident walking in. That confidence lasted maybe 10 minutes. People started arriving in waves, and immediately I noticed something was off. They didn't come alone. They came with extra people, friends of friends, girls I didn't know, guys I'd never met. No one asked if it was okay. They just showed up like my night had turned into an open invite.
Then I noticed how they were dressed. Every single one of them looked like they were trying to outdo each other. Designer jackets, expensive watches, loud outfits, statement pieces. The kind of looks you wear when you want eyes on you. I suddenly felt small. Not because I looked bad, but because the energy shifted. This wasn't a celebrate you night. This was a who looks the best, who's got the most status competition. And I wasn't even a contestant. I tried to keep things normal. I greeted everyone, bought the first round, made a toast. I raised my glass and said something simple. I appreciate you guys for coming out. This means a lot. Half of them weren't even facing me. One guy was mid-story. Someone else was filming a Snapchat. A girl laughed loudly at something I didn't hear. No one clinked glasses. Someone muttered, yeah, and kept talking. I felt my stomach drop. I laughed it off and sat back down, telling myself I was being dramatic. Then it kept happening. Every time I tried to speak, I was talked over. Every time I tried to steer the conversation back to why we were there, someone redirected it. Inside jokes I wasn't part of. Plans being made in front of me, without me. At one point, I realized something even worse. They weren't ignoring me accidentally. They were actively performing around me. Louder voices, bigger gestures, constant photos. One guy stood on a chair to hype up a story about himself. Everyone cheered. Phones came out. No one had taken a single picture with me. I checked my phone. The group chat was active, but not about me. Someone had made a side group chat without me in it. I found out later when a notification flashed on someone's screen while they were sitting next to me. I pretended I didn't see it. Then the comments started. Not direct insults. Worse. Little digs disguised as jokes. Man, remember when you used to talk about this stuff like it was gonna happen? Crazy how serious you took all that. Guess it worked out. For now. For now. That phrase stuck with me. I asked one of them what he meant. He laughed and said, relax, bro. I'm just messing with you. Everyone laughed. I smiled. Inside, I felt stupid for inviting them. Then came the moment that fully broke it. One of the girls, someone I'd never met, asked whose night it was. Before I could answer, one of my friends said, oh, nobody. We're just out. I froze. I waited for someone to correct him. No one did. The girl shrugged and said, oh, cool. And that was it. My celebration officially didn't exist. I watched them order more drinks on my tab without asking. I watched them flirt, argue, posture. I watched them treat the night like a stage and me like a prop. At some point, someone asked if we should move to another bar. I said, I was kind of hoping we'd stay here a bit. One guy replied, why? There's nothing happening here. Everyone agreed. They left. Not all at once. Just drifted away. No goodbye, no thanks. No acknowledgement. I stayed seated, staring at the empty glasses and the bill I was still paying. That should have been the end. It wasn't. The next day, my feed was flooded. Photos from the night. Tagged locations. Captions like, crazy night and main character energy. I wasn't in a single one. Except one. A blurry photo someone posted in their story. Me sitting alone at the table, looking down at my phone. Caption, bro was real quiet tonight. People replied with laughing emojis. That's when the humiliation really hit. I texted one of the guys and asked why they posted that. He said I was being sensitive. Another said, "It's just jokes, man." Another said, "You kind of killed the vibe." Killed the vibe. By existing, I started replaying the night in my head, wondering if I had done something wrong, if I came off arrogant, if I talked too much, if I didn't talk enough. Then I realized something worse. They had been waiting for this, waiting for me to fail socially so they could knock me back down. Because the truth is, my win made them uncomfortable. They were used to me being the grind guy, the one who talked about plans that never seemed real to them, the one they could tease. Seeing it actually work threatened the hierarchy. So they did what people like that do best. They minimized it. They overshadowed it. They erased it. And they did it in public. I didn't confront them right away. I went quiet, stopped responding, left group chats, muted stories. That's when they noticed. Suddenly they were asking if I was okay, saying they didn't mean anything by it, telling me I was acting weird. One even said, "But you're gonna ruin friendships over one night?" One night. The night that showed me exactly where I stood. Here's where it gets messy. A week later, someone from the group reached out privately. He admitted something. They had talked beforehand, not about ruining my night, but about not letting it get awkward if I made things about myself. They assumed I'd be bragging. They decided to control the energy by outshining me, by dominating the space, by making sure no one focused on me for too long. He said it like it was logical, like it was reasonable. I didn't reply. I just stared at the message, realizing how calculated it all was. They didn't hate me. They just didn't respect me enough to let me have one moment. I haven't gone out with them since. Some people say I overreacted. Some say it's not that deep. But I know what it felt like to sit in a room full of people I trusted and feel invisible. I know what it felt like to watch my achievement get swallowed by ego and insecurity. So I'll ask this honestly. If the people closest to you can't stand to see, you win. Are they really your friends? Or was I wrong for expecting anything at all? I didn't plan on confronting them. I actually planned on letting it die quietly, ghosting, distance, moving on. That was the mature thing, right? Turns out silence makes people uncomfortable when they know they did something wrong. About 2 weeks after that night, I started getting invited out again. Same bars, same group chats, same casual, "You coming?" messages like nothing had happened. No apology, no acknowledgement, no accountability. Just vibes. I ignored the first few. Then one night I made the mistake of replying, "Why would I?" That's when the gaslighting really started. One guy said I was being dramatic. Another said I misread the energy. Someone else said, "Man, it wasn't even about you like that." That sentence messed me up. It wasn't even about you. That's when it clicked. They truly didn't think they did anything wrong. In their heads, my night wasn't my night. It was just another hangout that happened to be organized by me. So I finally asked the question I'd been avoiding. Why did nobody acknowledge what I was celebrating? The typing bubbles popped up, then disappeared. Finally, someone replied, "Because you don't need your ego stroked." That one hurt more than all the jokes. I wasn't asking for praise. I wasn't flexing. I wasn't even talking that much. I just wanted one moment of recognition from people I thought cared. Apparently, that made me arrogant. A few days later, I ran into some of them in public by accident. I tried to keep it civil. Small talk, head nods, neutral energy. They acted awkward, not guilty, not apologetic, awkward. Like I had broken an unspoken rule by being upset. One of them pulled me aside and said, "You know, people are saying you've changed." "Changed how?" "Like, you think you're above everyone now." I almost laughed. Above them? I had literally been sitting alone at a table while they laughed and took pictures. I asked who was saying that. He didn't answer. That's when I realized something else was happening behind the scenes. They were rewriting the story. In their version, I wasn't humiliated. I was bitter. I wasn't ignored. I was sulking. They didn't overshadow me. I made it awkward by expecting attention. And the worst part? Some people believed them. Mutuals started acting distant. Conversations went quiet when I walked up. I'd hear, "That's him?" under someone's breath. All because I didn't laugh it off. Then came the post. Someone posted a long caption about friends who can't be happy unless they're the center of attention, and how success changes people. No names, no tags. Everyone knew. The comments were full of agreement. Subtle digs, people adding their own stories about that one friend. I didn't respond. But I did screenshot everything. Because here's where things flip. A few days later, someone I barely talked to messaged me privately. They said, "I don't think you're crazy." They had been there that night, too. Not close enough to be in the main circle, but close enough to see everything. They told me what it looked like from the outside. They said it was obvious they were competing with each other. Obvious they were trying to outdo the night. Obvious they shut me down whenever I spoke. They said the photo of me sitting alone felt cruel. That message messed with me more than the insults, because it confirmed I wasn't imagining things. Then another message came in. And another. Quiet ones. Side observers. People who didn't feel safe speaking up publicly. Apparently, I wasn't the first person this group had done this to. I just happened to be the one who didn't pretend it was funny. That's when I made a decision. I wasn't going to expose them dramatically. I wasn't going to post a long rant. I wasn't going to drop screenshots. I was just going to tell the truth, calmly, when asked. And that drove them insane. Because suddenly people were questioning the narrative. Someone asked why there were no photos of me from my own night. Someone asked why the caption felt mean. Someone asked why it turned into a fashion show instead of a celebration. The group started panicking. I got messages asking me to clear things up, to not make it weird, to stop letting people think the wrong thing. One even said, "You don't need to paint us like villains." I replied, "I'm not painting anything. I'm just not lying anymore." That was apparently worse. They flipped again. Now I was calculating, quietly manipulative, trying to turn people against them. Funny how silence is okay until it exposes something. The final blow came when someone admitted, accidentally, in a voice message that they did feel threatened by my win. They laughed while saying it, tried to play it off, but it was enough. Enough for me to finally understand the truth. They didn't ruin my night because they hated me. They ruined it because they couldn't stand the idea of me, stepping out of the role they'd assigned me. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. I don't hang out with them anymore. Sometimes I still see their posts. Same bars, same outfits, same energy. They look happy. But I also notice something else now. They don't celebrate each other either, just themselves. So here's my question. Honestly, if your friends only support you when you're beneath them, were they ever really your friends at all? Or am I just another guy who learned too? Late that winning changes who's allowed to stay in your life.